Greetings, adventurers. How's it going? It's me, MadDrRob, and thank you for joining me for another episode of Monday Maps with me, MadDrRob. Over here at Obsidian Brews. Love to have you. This daylight saving times thing has been throwing me off. It got dark so fast today. It needs. Come on, we can keep light a little bit longer, please. Other than that, doing all right. Glad to have you guys here for another map. As always, I got my sketch and I'm ready to go. Got my map here. Not this one, we've made this one already, but this one. It's going to be a brand new one. Actually inspired by some friends and some work I've done already. But we'll get to that in a little bit. First, we go through all the general announcements. First off, Baldur's Gate 3! Yeah, that's right. The homies here, led by the MBA, are going through a Baldur's Gate 3 run. We're doing our best not to be murder hobos, but, you know, things happen. But yeah, you can catch us every other Wednesday. So we were on last week, Wednesday. You can catch us next week, Wednesday, as we continue our quest. We didn't die to the spiders last time. I think we did pretty well. I was surprised, honestly, surprisingly well. I thought we were dead. I died the first time. But yeah, we're doing pretty well. Next up, I know it's the beginning of November, but PAX Unplugged is coming up at the end of the month. Some of us will be there, so if you happen to see us while you're there, come give a shout, say what's up. Love to see you. We're all friends here, and it's great to just meet y'all and hang out while we're down in Philly. And I hope to see you guys there. That'll be dope. Also, those around in the U.S., go vote. Make sure you go vote. I already voted. It's early voting here in New York, but wherever you are, if you have not voted yet, go vote. It's important. Clearly, it is very, very important. Please go do that. And as always, I must give thanks to the MBA, make sure we look good, sound good, smell good all over the internet, and director of production over here, making sure these things go off without a hitch. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Really appreciate you. And making sure we can do this. But with that, I think we can begin. Now, I have my sketch here. Hopefully y'all could see it. Hopefully it's not too blurry, but it's pretty cool. This will be a little garden scene, a regal garden scene, actually inspired by Winter's Tale over and the Castleton series. They just finished funding their Kickstarter. Shout outs to them. Congratulations. They're making a campaign book for all of Castleton, which I actually happen to have been a part of, playing one of the demigods. And it was a very fun experience. Tons of people, such a cool world. And after seeing their success, I was like, it'd be really cool if I had something like Regal or Regal-esque. And I found in the archives a little palace garden. And I was like, I think this will be pretty cool. Had to figure out how to make a couple of these things, but I think it should be pretty dope. So with that, I think we're just gonna get started. Now, this one's a little bit different than other ones. Typically, I would throw in some walls and some things and, make it an enclosed space or paths to make enclosed space. But we're going to be doing something different. We're utilizing patterns and things to make enclosed spaces. But patterns and objects. So what I want to try to do is get my corners down. And this is the part I didn't test out before, but I'm going to look for it. Check my pillars. See, I have, those Corinthian marble square pillars. Yeah, something akin to this. And so that's tiny. I'll turn off our shadows. Let's see if we have anything bigger. If we don't have anything of the sort, because something similar to that. Yeah, a lot of these are like 2-frame. We can make them bigger after the fact, but I like to just have it ready already, What we'll do, I'm going to use a reference. And we're going to make it on the fly. Our corners are going to have these massive pillars in them. Actually, something akin to that. Just not seeing the right size for it. If anyone's wondering, we are using assets by Forgotten Adventures. And potentially some assets from Tom Kartos. They make awesome assets for all of your tabletop needs. They also have some new things for other programs that if you happen to go check it out, and you see Forgotten Adventures, they make good stuff. They make some really good some good assets. Now, as for us, what we're gonna do, raise this layer up to, we're not gonna do it above roofs. This is gonna be our there we go. Perfect. What we may have to do is take marble and then make it into make it into something a little bit non, or make it look a little better. What we can do. Perfect. Take this dwarf inlay. Turn off your smoothness. Width. How big is that? That'll do. Put it above roofs. Smoothness back on. Yeah, there we go. There we go. That'll give it more of a pronounced look. We can throw some shadows over the top of it and layer that to make it look a little better. But I think with this will give us the basis for what we're looking for. Yeah, that's the best looking one. Yeah, let's see if this fits. Nah, this doesn't have the same pronouncement. It doesn't round itself out here, so we'll nix the inside one. Yeah. I'm going to repeat this in all four corners of the room. This 3x3 pillar. And as I was saying before, we could have taken like black. What's the best we're going to white? Yeah. Trying to find something not broken. Something akin to one of these. Tried to find like that circular head. Like this piece, and then increase the size. Which would have been okay, but I don't always love the look, and it doesn't always sit perfectly in the spots. So when in doubt, we'll make our own. No worries. We'll take this. Hey, Sphinx, what's up? How's it going? Hope you are doing well. Because at the beginning, as we make this illustrious garden, starting with our crazy high pillars, yeah, doing all right, doing all right. Now, massive pillars, and these pillars are going to be supporting functionally planter boxes. But at first I was just going to do planters. Now I'm thinking big old hedge. Uh, so I think I'm going to start doing a little bit of what is going to be part of the main features of this, and that is hedges. Now, you would hope that they just have hedges in the objects, and I could just find a hedge tool or something. They do not, so we have to make our own. Luckily, found a way to do that. It's the right type of grass. That's what we're gonna do. Yeah, that'll hit. So we're gonna hit some grass like that. I'm putting this at a really high layer for a reason. So we're gonna match that. Grass short. Perfect. Whoop. And what we're doing, and this I can make I'll make one of the actual features so you can sort of see how this works as we go. Need to put this down in place first. What we're essentially doing, if we zoom in on just this piece, this grass at this high level, it at least sort of resembles the layer, like the foliage of a hedge. We can try to swap out things, but for right now, we'll keep it, and we'll try to keep the smoothness on and the width at about 1. With this, hey, Takiam, what's up? And with this being the first time making like hedge maze-esque items, I found that if you trace out the corners of the items you set as grass, allowing it to wrap around itself. You'll see that it starts to resemble those the hedge mazes, and all you have to do is pull this bottom corner. Oh, take snap off. If you pull it in a little bit, then you don't have that extra, this little peak here. Sort of pull this off. And with that, you've created this big patch of grass or hedge as we are having it. And that's to finish the base of it, and then to make it sort of pop out, we'll take our good old friend, the Wibbly Wobbly Step Tool. We're going to turn it up to at least 2, probably may need 3, because this is going to be bigger than all of my tests. And we see where it is. What we're going to do is, at the 400 layer, which is 1 layer below that, we're just going to drop this right underneath it. So at the very least, everybody knows that this element has some depth to it. And what we'll do later is, if you combine the shadow you already have with a thicker shadow, it gives the essence of it being much higher than it is, which is what makes these cool. So yeah, that was my thought when I was like, oh, this would be really cool to do. And then from there you can add on different effects and things like that, and it should be pretty dope. Yeah, you make a nice little bushy bush. Gonna put a little happy bush here and it'll be fine. Well, after just there, what I'll do is go back to the Wibbly Wobbly Step Tool, and I'm actually gonna leave off. I'm gonna run this all the way through, but I may come back to this and do some additional things. I think there may be some ways to make that look kinda cool. But yeah, you can already see like this patch of like what now looks like a 3-foot tall bush or hedge is way more pronounced than if it was just on standard ground. So it makes it pretty cool. But with that, there is not just one, there are a bunch, and I'm doing these things particularly first before doing the others. And the one thing I do want to do is the grass. Nope, that's the wrong one. Filters, all paths, cool. Yeah, I'm gonna tell that to block light. What that will do is if and when I put light effects, like a sun, if I put a light here, you see it automatically blocks the light from behind it, which I think makes for really cool effects and also gives people the distinction. So if I put a light source right here, they know that this is something you can hide behind and will not be spotted, something like that. But with that, let's fill out some more of these hedges. They all look generally the same for now. Just gonna put them in place and then we'll fill them in a little bit. Who knows, maybe this won't take me forever. Probably not. So the outer noodles. Bendy, hey, what's up? Oh, oh, my fearless leader, gift and subs. Everyone, shout outs to Bendy Dinosaurs for coming up with the brilliant idea for Obsidian Brews and also gifting the subs. This actually looks pretty dope. Actually, what we need to do is grab all these patterns we just made. Bring those up to 900 above roofs. Good to see you as well, Bendy. This one's. We're making a nice little regal garden today. Massive hedges and all. Oh, got above roofs. Cool. Go back to grass. And we're going to sort of repeat the same thing. So this is where I'm going to turn these, what just look like regular grass patches, into 900. Yeah, we'll keep it at 2 for now. That's way too big. Bring this back down to 1. There we go. Under our points while we're here. Snap off. Just bring that yet again. This closes the gap, makes it easier. And snap back on. And you can see I'm not really worried about, the corners, but so much. Mac, we can probably. You sort of want it round because that shows that they're trimmed and stuff like that. And it's okay if a little grass peeks through. You're not. Some of that will be hidden by the shadow. Also will show, it gives a little bit more of a delineation of maybe it's in a planter box or something like that. So you can always hand wave a lot of that part away. So you don't have to think too much about it. What you don't want to do is get too far away. Something like this, where now this distinction drops, right? So you want to keep this at sort of the halfway point. So you're not losing too much of your shape. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to drop it in the chat, and I will do my best to answer it if possible. And if something doesn't look right, you can always pull it. Oh, that's why. I was wondering why this didn't look correct. Undo. Yep. Haha. That is correct. This is not correct. So it happens. Oops. Filter some paths. Teaching moment. Yeah. These paths are directional. So I was unfortunately going in the wrong way. You can see I just enlarged it for effect. You can see one side is darker than the other. The dark side is the side that's supposed to be pointing out. You could sort of see that over here. Makes this look bushier. I had inadvertently done it backwards. Oops. That's all right. Now we know. Just fix it. There we go. That looks much better. I was wondering how I got my corners so nice on the first shot. That's what tipped me off. Yeah, much better. Yet again, typically I would be doing walls or floors first, but these are sort of the mainstays of what's going on. So we'll try to get these in first, and then we'll start fixing up the floors and making everything else pop. And we'll see where the night takes us from there. Either way, thanks for hanging with us today. What we want to do. Edge mages can have secret doors, and there is nobody that can tell me different. I'm gonna delete both of these, just because I don't think that's big enough. And that's one of the things I want to try. We'll see if it works, but I want to give it a shot. Is create openings in the hedge. This one has, that's why this has to go center back. Because my thought was, if we, and we can actually sort of do it early, you sort of have to establish spots for it. So this is way too big now. Oh, now these want to be decent sizes. Go back to our standard venturing gear. What we can do is create archways inside of the hedge. So I was thinking of like this side hedge here. This is just gonna look weird until we do something about it. So if like, let's say between here and here, here and here. What I would do is take my path tool. I'm gonna drop it underneath things. Wrong way. Go here. Go here. Stop. Here. Stop. Here. Stop. Here. Stop. Right. Then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have these ones that are not doing what I need them to block light. Because then if I put a light source somewhere, right? This will illuminate. That's, even if it's a small, like, little lantern underneath here or something like that. But it won't be over here. So only thing I need to do is our patterns. This pattern's on 7. We're going to bring it up to, we'll keep it on 7. That's fine. What we'll do is we'll take another pattern, keep the same colors, but we're going to put that, no, it won't block light. We're going to take a path. We're going to drop it down to anything below what we're at right now. And we don't even really need you don't need grass. You can use anything, but we'll use grass for right now. We're going to drop it to like 100 and block light. And right here, we're going to put a little boundary. So we have, if you were to look and try to edit point, you'd see there's a path here, path here. Then if I go and put a light source, have a little light source right there. Now that one's not the size I'd want. I'd want something closer to this half circle. And this is what we're trying to do. Let's try to be able to use that to capture light. Sort of center it there. We could reduce its size or something like that, or its intensity. So there are a couple things we'll have to do. What we'll do, path. That's on. And all we can build other parts here so that this also blocks light, but you can see light going through it and things like that. Now, what happens when you go into one of these? Who knows? Well, maybe we Pac-Man them through, maybe we don't. Who's to say? Honestly, that sounds like fun, so that may be the plan. Well, we'll get there, That actually sounds like a lot of fun. We may do that. But yeah, before we finish this, let's finish up our channel. So we take our step. We're gonna be at 400, 700. There, I did it at 400. That's the 2. Like, and that's, yeah, see, it'll be fine. Go have a little fun, little jaunt in this fun little hedge maze of terrors. That's right, it's still spooky season. Nah, I'm joking. This is fine. Or is it? Nah, it's fine. It's fine. Now we are gonna have to try to smooth out some of the artifacting that's going on there. Some of that can be taken care of with just pulling it forward. Pull this there. Cool, we'll take it. We love it when the problem fixes itself. I thought I was going to have to do more work than that. Not you. Oh, yes, you. Yeah. And as you can see, any of the step or things that sort of make it irregular, you can just sort of fix it or not. Sometimes it looks fine. It's just slight adjustments. But it does give the head itself some character, so it's not a big deal. That's why we don't worry about it. Snap back on. As I said before, once we throw down the shadow, it sort of covers up any of those idiosyncrasies you saw before on the corners. Just sort of the point. And if you wanted, you can always bend some of these in a little bit. Well, not your, yeah. Right, just give a little bit more contrast with some of these, just so they don't all look exactly the same. They don't have the same finish and stuff like that. That is an option. You don't have to. Because this is a regal palace, you want to make. I'm making them all look semi-uniform. As if somebody had to spend an odd amount of time to make this look good, but it's not necessary. You can play with it, make one look funky, make one look, any shape you can reasonably make. One of the reasons why I was hoping they had other topiaries already available, because that would be hilarious. There we go. Got some nice. That's looking pretty good. Now these are starting to look believable. Let's switch path. I'm dropping these particular ones down so that if I put some shadows on these columns or something like that, just to show depth, I can drop it on top without interfering with anything. I think I want to do is, let me see if I have. Okay. Gotcha. So what I'm going to do is we're going to make another fence. Yes, we're doing a lot of this before putting the floor down. But in this instance, the floor is kind of the last piece. Like, it's not the most important part of this. Okay. All right, that's my center. All of these. Actually, what's objects good? 300? Yeah, 300's good. I'll take this fancy marble. I'll get to 300. Down one. What we're going to do is turn these into stairs. Currently done with all of our grass for now, but it's possible we'll come back to it. Ooh. I missed some of these. Oh, that's cool. Oh, I wish these fit. That'd been cool. So if we wanted to, we just need to find the right pattern to fit it. That's always been the hard part, like finding a good pattern to fit like a stair or something like that. Because even these tend to be, well, they're all right, not great though. The drow ones tend to be nicer, like these. But they don't really fit stairs. They fit middle landing. And if we're gonna offset it with white marble, it's probably in our best interest to do like a gray or a black, or yeah, either gray or like volcanic, just to show a bit of a distinction. I do like the gray, so I think we're gonna go with that being way too high. Let's just drop it at standard below water. Use our objects to fix it for us. Need to turn this. Let's go back down to 1. Yeah, I think that looks better. More realistic. Having it be such wide steps doesn't, while it looks cool, it doesn't make sense just for if you put it somewhere. That means you'd have 2.5 steps per 5 foot, so that means every step is 2 feet wide. That makes no sense. So the original is set so you have 5 per 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So normal step width and height. So 5 foot or 1 foot per step. So that's the realism you want to put inside when you make you make things. Because get that one engineer at your table, they're like, "What is that? That doesn't make sense." With that, I think we can. I'm gonna start building out some floors here. If we're gonna use this dwarven slate for a floor there. How's that look? That looks pretty good. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Honestly, like nobody takes into consideration how big steps are, like how small steps actually are. If you could be a big stepper if you're a giant, and that's okay, and I appreciate that. But if you are a medium-sized creature like most people are, you're not taking big steps. You're not taking those big steps. And it would actually be funny because that would be one time where you go, all right, we're gonna run down the steps. All right, everyone make dex checks because the steps are weird. Everyone falls down the stairs. Um, and it would be my fault because I made them that way. Uh, well, yeah. One, two off the. Now over here, this is where one gets weird. No, not Kango from Static Shock. Oh, he did have some big ass feet. That is just a fact. That is 100% facts. Um, yo, leave that man alone. He was trying to live his life. Uh, what's the right one? You know what? I think we're gonna. No! No! Why y'all making fun of all these wonderful, beloved cartoon characters? That's messed up. They did have some big ass feet, but damn. we not the proud family. Uh, all right. What was I doing? Oh, right. I was gonna. uh, we do not hate on your big ass feet around here. Uh, all right. So this is our middle. And I was thinking on doing like the little optical illusion bit. And I think I can make that work. Yeah, I think I can make that work. What you're looking at here is a similar. We're gonna see if it works. If it doesn't hold, we'll just scrap it. But it was an interesting idea because a lot of times I just do everything generally flat. And part of our issue is gonna come with the pattern. Oops, excuse me. But if you take your step tool, let's go. All right, cool. Because technically, we can just go down. I can cut some of this short, but if you use some force perspective plus your the guides of other things, you can force them to think that this goes straight down. I don't love the way that looks, so we're not going to do it. It was a nice thought. Nope. We're going to just mimic what we had up on top. But we will defer on how it drops down. Look what we'll do here. There. Nope. And this is where stuff's gonna start to look a little weird. Let's put it at 700 for right now. But these will be massive versus the other part of the ground. We don't need. Some of these will probably wind up bringing out a little bit just to show off. I'm gonna drop this shadow underneath. Thank you. Yeah, I think we throw that on 100. I'll keep it just under 2. See, not bad. In the first hour or so, we're doing all right. Sort of locking some stuff into place. And typically I'd have like levels and weird stuff. Yo! Rez Monk has entered the chat. What's up, bro? What the good thing about this one, instead of adding like physical layers, or easy to spot height differences, you're making these physical obstructions. So there's no clear line of sight from at any given point. And we're going to be putting some more obstructions in the way, so it's not just we run straight through and we're done, but a place that people can enter, exit, but also have an encounter of a variety of types. Let's get this. I'm starting to feel like we need to give this place a little bit of flooring. Now, fountains? Yes, we definitely got some fountains going. I was trying to figure out which of my locations I want to turn into cool fountains. I had an idea for one that we're gonna try out, and it's gonna be this is gonna be cool. I'm throwing it like right in the middle for like a cool fountain, or my idea for a cool fountain. Um, let's throw down some ground because this is we fancy out here. I'm thinking. Let's drop this to below water. I think what we want to do. Let's see if I can do it this way. Yes. I had to check my brain to make sure I'm doing this properly. No! Why did you get rid of the whole thing? It almost worked. Oh, it's fine. We can force it to intersect by itself. It didn't like what I was doing, so I'll just do it a different way. Do you know sometimes it accepts the intersection, sometimes it doesn't. I don't know what's. I don't fully understand why, but that's alright. Right here. It says I can't do it. Which I think is very strange. Because that could happen and it's fine. Oh, how about this? Not you. You. No, it won't let me do it at all. This may have been new programming. Because it did not used to do this. That's how we were able to do a couple of our things before. It won't let it intersect with itself. But that's okay. It's not the end of the world. We'll just fill it in there. Oh, I didn't put shadows underneath that. All right, cool. But with that, what we'll do now is do a standard pattern of, something clean and nice. Can't be like shiny marble because this is outside. But it should be something gaudy-ish. Let's see how this looks. We can make changes later. If we don't like it, we'll just change it. It looks like it's going to be a bit too bright. Yeah. Yeah, that wasn't the move. Sorry, y'all. That was not the move. But shout out to MadDrRob for letting us just change stuff on the fly. Yeah. That looks nice. It gets and it's just a little trick that I typically do and I always suggest doing. Which I need to change this. When you're going from place to place, this I learned online at a previous time. Vary up your edges. So same way it looks, you going from a light stair to this little border around the floor to another area, it fully delineates where you are. So there is clearly a difference between the stairs here, which would indicate a previous zone, and your new zone here. So it unconsciously gives walls and a place to exist. Same way with, like, yet again, the stairs, the walls of your hedge sort of box you in, and gives you the appearance of this is the zone I want you to be in when we're doing stuff. Now you're going to expand it, like we're going to expand it with these areas over here to make it seem a bit brighter in certain spots, but that's sort of the vibe we're going for. Now, I heard fountain, and I did want to give this a shot. So we're going to need a big old fountain. Yet again, shoutouts to Forgotten Adventures for some of these pre-made fountains, which are super dope. And I want something to this effect. Yeah. Before I do that, our globes of marking, 100. I booked out enough space to make it big. This will be our middle. All right, let's do this. gonna throw a big old fountain there. But on top of the fountain is where we get to have some fun. Oh, this is where the marble decorations were. Okay. Like if we wanted to, I knew I had something that looked sort of the part, like around. It was these. That's okay. We can play with these later. There. There's it. Yeah, it's too small. I want something big. I want like a planet, like a large stone ball being rotated. That would be terrifying to see a large spinning void just. Ah, look, a black hole. That's cool. It's the. This at 400. This is gonna have a shadow around it to cast this in shadow. Most orbs can't get but so big, so yeah. I do have tentacles. I could make tentacles come out of here. But not today. Not today. Next time. Interesting. I think we may go with a different color planet, but it's a really cool. I like this. I like this idea. I wish they had different color stars. We're gonna keep this for now. I can throw water weirds wherever. Oh, that's what I wanted to do. Here's what we're gonna do. So all of our patterns that we got here now. Lock that. Yeah, I'm just gonna sort of lock some stuff in place so we don't have to deal with that. I don't typically lock stuff, but since I'm going to be clicking all over the place and I may forget to turn off patterns. That was Incarnate that I made my own planets. Do I have the Tom Kartos assets turned on? I do not. That's fine. I can show you guys some behind the scenes stuff. This will. There are tons of assets. As I said, Forgotten Adventures switched their assets from their old stuff to their new ones. We're using all the new stuff now. They load a ton faster, but they used to be all in individual small sets. Now they're just in 3 big sets. What we could do is turn on some of these Tom Kartos assets. Yet again, you'll see behind the curtain of how some of these things work. Because I know Tom Kartos has some other orbs and things of that nature that look really cool. And it should stand out and be like a different look than the others. I'm going to accept that as it says, just save and reopen the file. So we save, open, and reopen the file. It takes a second. It's going to reload it. And what it's doing is reloading in all of the assets. If you have any questions while we wait for this to load real fast, feel free to ask. But Jack, we do think this would be kind of cool with some of the other orbs that we can use. And there are a lot of other things. Please don't freeze. There we go. And as we go down, see, TC, these are the Tom Kartos assets. So what we could do, let's see if he has any planets. No, these are planters. Science! So, yeah, see, these are the big orbs that Tom Kartos has. You can get some cool ones, and then like you can make effects, so like turning something into like a shade of brown or something like that, like a brown cracked stone that's constantly just twirling, which I actually think would be really freaking cool. This one. I think we could probably get it, see, I don't like making them all the way black, or just because you sort of lose the roundness of it, but making it something like a gray spherical orb that just moves is pretty dope. But I kind of want to either give it like a brown. I want to give it some like brown, like, yes, you've all seen them, like the massive balls that just like hover, like they're clearly stone, but you've run enough water so it just sort of like freely rotates and spins. And like to make it blue, just sort of too on the nose, and to make it such a weird, vibrant color would sort of throw it off. So I'm like, does brown work? It's like a sand gray, a sandy color. Something like that. What do you guys think? I think this is pretty cool. We're going to put this up high so that when we drop it, if we want to change the color later, we certainly can. Yet again, this is what like blue looks like, a yellow. Like this is too colorful. This doesn't even make sense. The void, yet again, still would be cool, but to go for like this type of ocean feel would be cool. Yeah, like the oceany feel kind of dope too. There'd be so many questions. Where'd you get it? How did you get it up here? What happened? Yet again, shout out to Tom Kartos for some of these really cool looking orbs that he made, and then making it able to sort of make your own. That's the golem's hat. Let's take these guys off. So we're gonna save that. Yeah, that's on 4. That's on 2. And then we'll be able to 6, please. There we go. I feel like making it like a weird, super off color would be very distracting, especially if it's not, because I'm trying to make this for general use and general encounters. I don't want to have it always be the center of attention. Sometimes it's not, sometimes it is, and we'll figure out how we want to make that happen. And I'm already looking at this fountain, and putting shadow around it is going to be a thing. But that's a thing for a later time. The next thing I want to do is throw some more objects in here. Cool. A lot of these are like busts, but that's not really what we're going for. That's broken. Oh, right. Go all the way back up. And the Forgotten Adventures. Honestly, I would 100% make that part of the encounter where like somebody knocks the ball off and chases them. It would just be fun. It sounds like it would be great. Let's get the statue bases. Stone. that'll work. I don't typically like putting stuff on 100, but for this case, 100 is fine because nobody will notice. I think right here. What we'll do, we'll put undo that. I'm gonna make these pedestals bigger than normal. Just because I can make them fit within the space, but if they're slightly bigger than normal, right? So let's check it out. Yeah, it'll do. It'll do. I like the idea of them being a little bit bigger. So I'm going to turn off the, when I shadow these in, I'm going to turn off the smoothness. Just so the corners look good. They're also too low, so this needs to be on like 200. So I was thinking either knights or monks. But I also, because knights would be kind of cool. Monks would also be interesting. Chat, what do y'all think? You want knights out here or monks out here? Or mages? What do y'all think? Because I think mages would be cool too. So like, only animal to have are lions. Though I can make some others. I wish if I had other. Let me check the Tom Kartos ones. The Tom Kartos statues look a little weird. Like they don't quite look right. They look up. Well, I think they look a little bit too cartoony for the aesthetic that we're going for right now. Because like, but they have like the really good ones. So like, if we were using just Tom Kartos assets, this would be incredible. Like, we would definitely be using this. One day we got to make one with just Tom Kartos assets. Or at least majority Tom Kartos, and then layer on effects from others. Now, dragon heads look kind of dope. The dragon eggs we got. Those. A lot of spider eggs. Yeah, Tom Kartos has the cool ones. You got xenomorph eggs. I don't think that's what we're looking for though. So yet again, for another time. So let's see. So if we can do mage. Can't be silver. It may have to still be the white marble. So if I took this mage here, white marble. And then I think that would be cool. I like that. I'm gonna try to go with an. I'm gonna have to drop a good shadow around this just to make sure it offsets the coloration. It's different enough so that it doesn't like get lost in the shuffle. Like, I can't use gray or silver here. And on this pedestal it looks good. But if we use the earthiness of the mage, like an earthy mage with wings, with the on one side. Yeah, he's just a bit too far back. I don't know why. Hey. Yeah. And what I can do is take the thoughts you have using monks as deities to add to the decoration that's around. I'm going to turn these guys into small little fountains. Provided they will be nice to me and let me do so. Oh, now you want to be a pain, but all right, cool. What we'll do is we'll turn this one, which is a little bit too big, about 200. 5, so we're going to go to 45. At 200. Doesn't have to be symmetrical. Water spout. Going off of this into there. And this is from y'all's idea, because I thought it was dope. Yeah, that's cool. This one's going to be a bit harder, but let's put another. I don't want like a little shitty dribble. That looks. This is where they have like all the cool things, like the statues and stuff, or just like the heads of stuff, or like wall decoration type stuff. So we may have to just do a. So it'll be a little hokey. So it would be a drain there, and then a water spout that. Yeah. When producing it, this one isn't. We may revisit this one just to make it perfect. Some of this is just actual physics in my brain, so it'll be fine. It looks good. Yeah, we'll fix it in post. Yeah, that actually looks pretty dope. Now we got most of our walls. Got some stone lions there, which could come to life at any point in time. We need our banisters on that side. While we're here, let's do some of the hard part. Sometimes when doing the shadow work on the sides, it's easier to just go halves. That's pretty good. Seeing that this particular shadow, or this particular piece isn't fully square, but that's okay. And we'll do a couple other smaller pieces, so Some of this you can't quite hit. Like that. A little trick, just because you wouldn't notice it. It gives the whole bowl some shadow versus just part of it. You could do the same thing for the book. You're just putting it on a higher level than what's currently there, so. And you stop before you get to anything of import. So like for this, I would just do the sides of it. Sort of stop there. And then on the 300 layer, and draw that. That's when you sort of go underneath it. You're ever stuck on where to marry stuff, marry it in a very dark place so you won't see the artifact. Like that. Ah, okay. Yeah, it sort of highlights the book, shows that it's higher than everything else, stuff like that, blah, blah, blah. We need some benches. Let's throw some benches in there. So let's go to seating. These are kind of splendid. We're gonna use these nice fabric benches. What color are we using for these people? I'm inclined to say red because that was one of my colors in Castleton. And I think it gives a nice, cool look to it. Like red with a nice like this redwood, the red on red. Or do you want to do red on like dark brown? Let's try red on. Yeah. Yeah, this red, like with the green, and yeah, this actually looks pretty cool. I like this. This works out. And I'm keeping this at like 200 and purposefully putting it close by to show that shadow. That snaps to the middle. That snaps to the end. I don't want it to be stuck in there, but purposefully trying to stay on that middle dot. Yeah, I think people would want their gaudy fountain regarded. Shall we do something? The hard part. Orthogonal or diagonal? What do y'all think? Diagonal? I think diagonal looks kind of cool. Yeah, I think this looks alright. Yeah. For any of you thinking on doing this in real life, having wooden furniture next to constantly flowing water, probably not the best idea. You'd probably want stone, but hey, meh. Yes, that's what I was thinking. Like diagonally would looks cool with respect to like, oh, you have people out there mingling, sitting down, looking at the thing. But yeah, if doing this in real life, probably get some better quality furniture that will not potentially warp or get bigger, or make sure the wood's treated very, very well. Now, I feel like we're missing some things like right here and right here. Sort of bring the space together. Of course, I look down at my thing, and there are more statues. I like the color. I'm liking the color scheme. Like I think we did. It's very reserved for what it is, but it definitely shows off the space. So you have the one. These actually. Yeah, that whatever we put here, and here pulls focus. Ooh, vertical flower bed. Bet we can make that happen. What we'll do. Oh, I do have to put in one thing. Or for continue and I forget. Right, or using this one. Cool. Mm. Want to make sure I remember that. A vertical flower bed. So let's do. No, we'll stick with the grave hole and we'll just put stuff. Yeah, I think that's a really cool. I like this idea. This is a cool idea. I'm gonna. We want it to be in case. That looks like poop. It does. It just doesn't look good. Uh, what we can do. All right. So here's what we'll do. Some of this may have just been too much additional thought. So. Same trick. Way too big. Taking. Yeah, that at least will take. Yeah. And it's literally there to cover up the edges. I'll sort of fix it at the end. Ouch. Now we're. This looks so mounded. All right. Perfect. All right. We know what we need to do. Get rid of that. I was going to try to do something else, but this will give us a decent why this is giving me so much trouble. I think it's because I'm trying to lock myself into this small space. So we're going to let it be in the ground and then ring it later. Back. I wish I could get precisely what I need, but I'm gonna zoom in. Why you do this? The path messed up. I think it's just taunting me at this point, and I do not know why. Oh, y'all. We're gonna figure it out. It's wild. Oh, yes. I have a plethora of color of flowers. Sorry that took so long. I do not know why, and we're gonna figure it out eventually, but I don't know why. So what color flowers are we thinking, y'all? Just throwing in here. As you see, we have a ton of different colors, so we can make stuff work. While I'm attempting to see if I can get this to look any type of decent. What kind of color, color flowers you think would look good in here? Black would be interesting. I can do some black flowers. Because this is being mean to me, I'm forcing it into a shape that I want, and then I'm gonna cover up the mistakes. It's a little bit too much. Let's see. Let's try those black flowers while we're here. And should we use? Let's see. Which flowers y'all like? We'll start with some of these black flowers. Kind of like both of them. With like a varietal. Or massive flowers that you have to make really small. These. I think we may go with these lotus-esque flowers. Like a rare black flower sounds cool. And I think I may wind up turning this into more of a bush with flowers on it. That may be the move. something more akin to this. Exactly. That's what I'm thinking. It's like, yeah, we acquired them. Um, I want to keep your idea of these vertical. Two. Okay. And then we'll take those really nice black flowers. Large black flowers. These guys. $100. Actually, we are going to put these at 400. Most likely, no shadows really going to fall onto it. But we're going to put some shadows around it to make it sort of pop. Look terrifying. I leave like a super huge one in the middle. Yeah. Oh wow. Like ones that haven't fully bloomed, and then ones that have. How's that look, y'all? That looks pretty decent. Interesting enough. Exactly. It's like you look at it and go, last I checked, it wasn't poisonous, but if you get poisoned, that's not my fault. That's what I'm gonna put on 300. So some of these ones on the side, like I'm gonna just drop down to 300. Like this one, I'm gonna find, and I'm dropping these down to 300 for a reason. It's not all of them, just some of them. What we're gonna do, save that. We're gonna do some of our shadow tricks. Right, so over here. Shadow path A40. That'll work. I'm gonna put on the 300 layer. Actually, I'm gonna put on the 400 layer. 0.2. Let's make sure it's the right. Yeah. What you want to do is you fade, and we may shrink it a little bit more too. Like right here. Turn the smoothness all the way up. You want to make this smooth so it doesn't artifact on you. And you're just painting in some of these shadow areas. It's not all of them, but it is parts of it. And you'll see as we start to go, it'll start to give some of these lower areas some shadow so that the areas above it sort of look. So I'm going to make this point. Just want to make some of these stand out, so you can go. This one will make back to 2. Whoa, that's too big. 0.2, 0.2, 0.2, 0.2, 0.2. Just that gives the this bush some shape, and you can just sort of fill in some of the gaps. And give it some character, just a little bit. And it's sort of like putting shadow on some of these guys without having to do all the hard work of putting shadow on some of these guys. So, but like this one, it's at 400. 300 would be a little better. Yeah. I know it's something we've gone over in previous iterations, but that's what it's used for. That's how it makes some of these things pop. I think we can. Excuse me. These black flowers look terrifying. Like I would not want to be sitting next to one of these things. Sphinx, you did say we need some sort of earth deity out here, so there you go, buddy. Oh, oh goodness. 300th. And I'm putting these on 300 around the outside because then I can put shadow over top of it. And then everything in the middle will be a 400 and sort of stand out. This will be low. Now we'll do our same trick we just did. There we go. Honestly, this looks pretty tight. Let's finish this other side up. I just realized we look good on this side. That side looks a little funky. What the heck? One's a little bit too big. Right. Five's a little bit too dim. That's 2.8. Snap. Snap. I need a way to cover that. That blocks light. Can't see shit. Though, what I could do is just. I think its range is just too big. Okay. I think we got most of the stuff. I'm gonna throw a couple shadows in here and then throw some white on top of it. So, see if this works. Yeah, they're slightly above, but it's a little bit too thick. I got that width down to half that. It is unseeable. That'll do. Light vest. Like this one. Hmm? Oh, I think the wibbly wobbly step tool. Edit points. Yeah, you. I remember that. Light tool. I'm gonna do a couple tests with the light real fast. If I take a closer. That's what we're looking for, something that'll be thin, block some light over here. On this side. So I can only adjust the intensity of it, not the size. So what we would need to do is get something like this, shrink it down, so it only covers about 2 spaces. Something like this. Take it, rotate it. Sort of place it in front. And then turn up its intensity. Doesn't look perfect. Lighting is like one of the hardest things for me to do, just because sometimes it looks really good, sometimes it doesn't look really good. And you can't always be sure until you actually put it in place. Yeah, I did something like that, right? And then at 400. It looks like little lanterns are hanging there, not like light is pouring through. I may have to figure out the lighting in a little bit. Or change that to like a round source. Light's the hard part. Light is always going to be one of the hardest parts of putting these in. Try to get it as close as possible so that it looks like it's pouring out from a direction. That's okay. I think we like where it's starting. So what we're going to do is, while we're here, we're going to finish putting in a lot of these shadows, these deep shadows. And good thing about light is that it makes it look uh, less dark over there. So I can take out some of the shadows if I want to. I have an idea. Yeah, let's do that. That looks pretty cool. So we're doing this little trick of doing a grow shrink towards the middle. And we're going to make the middle sections of these hedges look massive. So we give it a big shadow there. Versus the smaller shadows there. Like, we'll give it a small shadow, but not something as deep. We'll do the same thing over here. Yeah. And then if we take fade 0.75. Yeah. Y'all, I think we got it. I think we did it. Y'all. So that's what I would like to run something on this map. Like, this is where you do some cool political intrigue stuff. And then fight something cool. Or this would be like escaping the castle and something crazy's happening. Exactly. There's gotta be some sort of insidious plot going on here. Why else would you build something like this? Yeah. See, look, don't these look like good sized hedges? Like, this is cool. Oh man, this looks great. Alright, 200. I gotta do my benches. These are. Oh. Now we don't need to fade or shrink out on any of this. I do have to hit the bush as well. Stuff don't need it. Wondering why I'm starting in like mid arm, like chair arm height. It's so that I can have a easier place to end with. Sometimes it doesn't like to play nice when it comes to ending the path. So having a clear place I can sort of see, it's a little bit easier. No. Uh, where do I start? Oh, haha. I tried and it backfired. We'll take the shadow path A20 or to A40. Yeah. Do these last shadow hex, and I can actually throw those lights on that side and we'll be good to go. Move that up to 300. Yeah. And I think this will last little bits and we'll actually just be done, which would be incredible. The last thing we need are our shadow circles. Yeah, this just about does it. One thing I would do is give it an actual go down to one large range gray light to it. Which is a little hard because I put these to block light and it sort of. But I'll find some light sources and put those in for finishing touches. But generally speaking, I think this is pretty cool. I think this will do. So yeah, made our little palace garden. Came out pretty darn well. Let me move these globes of helpfulness. And yeah, I think with that we are good. I think we completed what we were trying to complete, and all in one shot. So it's been super cool. With that, I think we can wrap it up here. Thanks y'all. I really appreciate it. This guys looks cool. Got cool hedges. Got these incredibly terrifying flowers. This awesome water feature, which this is going to be inset in the ground. I'm going to put some shadow around the inside, but that's about it. And yeah, this is where some intrigue is definitely set to take place. Again, thanks for joining us here on Monday Map with me, MadDrRob. I appreciate you. If you want to catch Obsidian Brews doing some Baldur's Gate ridiculousness, you can catch us every other week here on Wednesdays. We just had one last Wednesday, so next one is next Wednesday. If you happen to be at PAX Unplugged, stop by. Some of us will be there. If you see us in the wild, come say hi. We love to see you. Go vote tomorrow, or if you have not already, go vote. Make it happen. And again, shout out to Ambe. Make sure we look good, sound good, smell good all over the interwebs. We really appreciate it. And for everyone who's joined us, thank you, thank you, thank you. We love you, and there's nothing you could do about it. Have a good night. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.